The shutdown over the Democrats' latest Trump-Epstein stunt implodes, falls flat on its butt as usual. Here we go. When will they ever learn? British hospitals are sick. No, I mean seriously sick. You will not believe this story. And the latest racist boogeyman is me. And people like me. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Welcome to the Jay Sheldon Show. What is it, Thursday? Yeah, it's Thursday. Oh, man, Shevitz. We are live on Rumble and we're live on X, and welcome into the broadcast. We're going across the planet and across the Whoa! Enough! Stop! What the hell? Where'd that music come from? I don't know. All right. Anyway, we're live across the planet, X and Rumble, or you may be watching this on YouTube, in which case you are watching a video on demand. We upload our show to YouTube. We're not live there. And you can watch it over there. Just check out the Jay Sheldon Show. Also, of course, the audio part of our show is a podcast. Wherever you get your podcasts, if it's easier to listen to the audio part of the show, just jump on to Spotify or Apple iTunes or any one of your podcast platforms and search out the Jay Sheldon Show. We're there, and we're going to get into the meat of this sandwich in just a bit. But before we do, that's where the music was coming from. Sorry. All right, before we do, I need to let you know about something awful but very special that is going on. In the Bongino Army, of which I am a member. Hey, good morning, Matthew West concert tomorrow. Yes, all right. Good luck with that. Anyway, someone posted this. What happened was they've asked everybody there for a big favor, and I want to pass that on to you because I know my audience and I know you all have big hearts. Well, Patriot Daddy, or Patriot Dad, has lost everything. Sadly, he and his family are safe. They made it out with just the clothes on their backs. They had a house fire, and it absolutely was devastating. Let me share this over here. There we go. And there is a video attached to this that kind of explains what's going on, and we need your help for this GoDaddy fundraiser.
Something horrible happened to Patriot Dad. Yes, that Patriot Dad, the one that you follow anytime you were feeling a little bit insecure about the election. You were thinking maybe Kamala was going to win because the mainstream media was pushing out that narrative. You ran to him and he made you feel better. That Patriot Dad. A few days ago, him and his family lost everything they own. They had a house fire and it was a complete loss. The only thing they got out of that house with was the clothes on their back. The most important thing is that they got out. All of them are completely safe. But the sad thing is they don't have anything. And I know all you conservatives know how insurance works. It's going to be a process. But this is Ohio. It is winter, and his children don't even have their winter coats. That is why I'm asking all of you, if you can contribute in any way to his Give, Send, Go, I would much appreciate it. It's about to be Christmas. This could be your, I did my good thing for a year. Let it be Patriot Dad, please. This man does so much for our community, and he takes any chance he gets to find a way to give back. Now it's our turn. Now it's our turn to help him. And alternatively, if you don't have the money to help, which I completely understand, just reposting this will help tremendously. Go follow the Patriot Source podcast on YouTube and TikTok. Repost Nom de Plume's post. He made a post to help support his twin brother. Those are all ways that we can support our community if we simply don't have the funds.
And I would encourage you all, this is the Give, Send, Go site itself. Help Patriot Dad rebuild after the devastating fire Monday afternoon. They had just wrapped up one of their episodes of the Patriot Source podcast, and this fire broke out, completely destroyed his entire home and all of their belongings for the entire family. They're safe, but all they have are the clothes on their backs, and they are trying their best to raise, they have a goal of $50,000. So far, they're up to $38,354, And I really, really want to encourage you to head over there, Give, Send, Go Fund. And that is the Give, Send, Go is Patriot Dad EV Fire Fund. And can we put that? Yeah, I can. I'm going to put that in the chat. So that link will be there, I hope. There you go. The link is in the chat, and I encourage you all to head over there. Don't if it's $5, if it's 100 or 1,000, whatever amount you can donate, really appreciate it. They need the help, and I want to encourage you to head over there to Give, Send, Go, and do what you can to help out this great patriot. All right, the link is in our chat on Rumble if you want to check that out. Okay, let's jump into it. Here we freaking go. Telling you. How much more do you want to embarrass yourself, you idiots? The Democrats' latest Trump-Epstein scandal stunt has completely imploded. I knew this morning it was going to be an absolute nothing burger, and that is exactly what it turned out to be. Like any significant anti-Trump narrative manufactured by the left, the Democrats, of course, got defeated on the Schumer showdown. They're back on the Jeffrey Epstein files because they just have to have something. Russian collusion hoax, every development, one big fart dud after another. They released this trove of emails where it was alleged that Trump and the late former financier and pedophile, Epstein, spent hours with a victim. Newswire. Again, stick them in with CBS, ABC, NBC, and MSNBC, or whatever it's called now, MS Now, and CNN. Jeffrey Epstein said Trump spent hours with an alleged victim, according to newly released emails. Breaking, Lisa Desjardins. Lisa Landers reporting on the newly released Epstein emails that involve President Trump. Democrats' House Oversight Committee released these emails yesterday, including one from 2019, in which disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein alleged President Trump knew about the girls. The big picture, Democrats say the emails raise serious questions about Trump and his knowledge of Epstein's crimes. He'd earlier dismissed a lot of demands for additional files tied to the investigation. As a Democratic hoax, he's acknowledged he was once friendly with the convicted sex offender, but said they had a falling out, which they did. 2019 email, Epstein's line that Trump knew about the girls, appears to refer to the president's past claim that he banned Epstein from the Mar-a-Lago Club for allegedly approaching young women who worked there. That's what he meant by knew about the girls. Now, House Oversight Ranking Member Robert Garcia, a Democrat from California, oh, there's a winning combination, said the emails raise glaring questions about what else the White House is hiding and the nature of the relationship between Epstein and the president. And this is why you cannot trust the Democrats with all the files. Not one of them is real. They want anything that can be used as damage for Trump. In this case, it could be alleged, to the shock of absolutely no one, that they manufactured a fake news story. They should be really good at that by now, but yet they still suck at it. None of the Epstein's victims who have come forward have ever accused Trump of any wrongdoing. Also, the victim in this document dump is the late Virginia Jeffrey So why are Democrats making it look like she committed perjury? It is a mess. Democrats intentionally redacted the name of the victim in the Epstein emails they released. The unredacted version shows it was Virginia Giuffre, who testified multiple times that Trump did nothing and she never even saw him at Epstein's house. Trump never acted inappropriately towards her, she said. No sex, no flirting. And she was never at Epstein's house with Trump. This is not a real story, my friends. Like you didn't already know that, considering the source, but this is absolutely fake, misinformation, bullcrap. Democrats need a credible media to make these kind of charges stick. The Russian collusion hoax destroyed all of that with an ICBM strike eons ago. And this afternoon, or yesterday afternoon, the White House press secretary did a line-by-line takedown of this entire story. President Trump torched the Democrats. Total defeat in the showdown fight, and they're just burned about it. Democrats, you lost again. Go ahead and take it, because that's the way it is, and you can't change it. Have a little dignity. Go sulk in a hole for a millennium or two. You lost. Deal with it. God. Danny, the news frustrates the absolute hell out of me. So many Dems in comments believing this crap junk. Talking about him going to prison now, getting impeached, saying his presidency is over. How, in all caps and well phrased, how do they still believe the media? Exactly. If you are still buying the crap, the absolute, just flat out lies that these CNN, ABC, CBS, MSNBC, NBC, these lies that they are feeding you, you are still sitting there with half a brain cell buying this crap? You know what? The chances are I'm preaching to the choir. Absolutely nobody in this audience could be even close to being so stupid to believe this. And I know you don't. I know you're smarter than that. I give my audience all the credit in the world for knowing exactly what's going on with this garbage. Sane. Marilyn, please God help me, was on the phone with the cable people. What a nightmare. You know, other than the motor vehicle department, I'm not sure there is a worse company to deal with, wherever you might be, than the cable company. Get the TV box, Danny says. I don't know. All right. Hey, guess how many driver's licenses were illegally issued in California to foreigners? Go ahead, make a guess. Put it in the chat. How many you think? I'll tell you. 17,000. That's a 17 with 3 zeros after it. No joke. The U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Sean Duffy, announced yesterday, the California Department of Motor Vehicles admitted to illegally issuing 17,000 non-domiciled CDLs, commercial driving licenses, to foreign drivers. This was made because of an ongoing audit by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and those CDLs are being revoked. Mm. After weeks of claiming they did nothing wrong, California Governor Newsom and the whole state caught red handed. Now we've exposed their lies. 17,000 illegal issued truck licenses, driving licenses, are being revoked. Duffy said in a statement, "It's just the tip of the iceberg. My team will continue to force California to prove they've removed every illegal immigrant from behind the wheel of semi-trucks and school buses. Yes, those people are driving your children to school." Think about that. They issued notices to the license holders saying they no longer meet the federal requirements and they will expire in 60 days. What? Why give them 2 months? As of right now, this moment, you've expired. No, they give them 60 days, 2 months. They've also now asked the California DMV to do a complete audit of all non-domiciled CDLs. In other words, illegal aliens who get CDLs. To make sure that every single one of those licenses have been revoked and the DMV's systematic failures, and they are systematic, gross incompetence gets stopped. These people are a danger to you and to me every single time we hit the roads. 17,000 of them. Not just semi-tractor trailer trucks, which are dangerous enough, but the very school buses your kids go to school in. Unbelievable. 17,000 of them. Insane. All right. Did you have your coffee this morning? I have mine every morning. I have mine every afternoon. I have mine at night. I drink Blackout coffee 24 hours a day. And you ought to be drinking Blackout coffee too, because it is the best coffee on the planet. My mic back, please. Thank you. I'm loving that music. You're right, Danny. It is cool. All right. Anyway, stay free, stay awoke. That's what Blackout Coffee is all about. Blackout, absolutely amazing. Their signature roast, Morning Reaper, Brutal Awakening, medium roast. There's coffee pods. They've got medium roast, Second Amendment. And yes, as you can see right here, in some cases, you can order them ground. Oh, yeah, they no longer just have beans on most of their popular roasts. You can get them ground before they send them out to you. They only roast your beans after you order. That's how you know they're fresh. Right after they're roasted, within 24 to 48 hours, they are shipped. They arrive at your door fresh, full-bodied, full-flavored, never, ever, ever bitter. There's my favorite right there, Pitch Black Espresso. Same flavor, brand new bag. Look at that. I like that new look. Man, that is good stuff. And yes, with Pitch Black Espresso, like you see right there, you can order the whole beans or you can order them ground. Very cool. They've got coffee pods. They've got cold brew. They've got flavored coffees, which are just to die for. Just go over to the site, use the link in our show notes, and check out the reviews. Absolutely amazing reviews. Yes, they got merch over there, signature blends, partner roast. Their flavored coffees are absolutely fantastic. You just got to check them out. The flavors are amazing. Every single one, no sugar, 0 calorie. Look at the new flavor here. Now, salted caramel mocha, I can get behind that. Cherry jelly donut, um, okay, maybe. I'll have to give it a try. Blueberry crumble is one of the most popular flavors there are. And Danny says they have amazing hot chocolate as well. Yes, indeed, they do. In addition to all these incredible flavors, caramel cream. Oh, man. John, send me a bag of caramel cream. I want to try that. But, oh, cookie doodle, toasted coconut, Irish cream. They've got their hot chocolate over there. Blackout Coffee is the name of the game, folks. You got to check it out. Look at let's check this out. Their holiday flavors. Deck the halls, peppermint mocha, candy cane, winter wonderland, eggnog. Each one better than the next. Head over the link in our show notes. 20% off your first order if you use the code J20, JAY20. Use that code to get 20% off your first order at Blackout Coffee. Thank you, John, for helping to sponsor the show, and thank you, folks, for going over there. Use the link in our show notes down there and pick yourself up a bag. Give it a try. Try one bag. You'll be back. I'm sure of it. It is just that amazing. Blackout Coffee. Thank you, folks. Appreciate your taking part in the sponsor program we've got here. Great companies that help to support this show. Kash Patel, who to me ought to be sticking his nose a little more into domestic problems, but apparently he wanted to go to China and make a deal with them. And okay, I'll give it to you, Kash. You did a pretty good job. He just scored a very big win with China, just got back and announced that communist China will work with us in the United States to stop the illegal flow of fentanyl precursors. That's the ingredients that are used to make this killer drug fentanyl. Effective immediately, he said. Essentially, President Trump has shut off the pipeline that creates fentanyl, kills tens of thousands of Americans every year. It is frightening, this drug. I show you the video, how much fentanyl it took. Very, very little bit. And they're mixing it with everything these days. I mean, all kinds of other drugs. This was the first time an FBI director has ever even been to China in over a decade. Got an audience with his counterpart, the head of what the Chinese called their FBI. And Patel said, thanks to Trump's direct engagement with President Xi, the government of China committed to my engagement there at a level I've never seen before. Various agencies have been fighting hard, as Kash put it, to seize and stop drug traffickers. We've got to attack fentanyl precursors, the ingredients to make fentanyl. Patel said Beijing agreed to proscribe all 13 precursors, along with 7 other chemicals used in the manufacturing process. According to recent reports, 84% of fentanyl precursor chemicals seized by Homeland Security since 2021 traced back to China. House Select Committee found last year that companies in China produced nearly all of the illicit fentanyl precursors, all those chemicals that go into making fentanyl. If Beijing does as they promised to do, we would suffocate this drug trafficking organization's ability to make fentanyl in places like Mexico. This is killing tens of thousands of Americans every year. Hopefully, this will go a long way towards stopping that crap. It is absolutely scary toast. What else is going on? You know what? I missed this story from the last couple of days. I've kept it on the list because I really wanted to get to it. We've been backed up for time, and man, I'm telling you. We'll do it in a second. Danny says, that's how I lost my soulmate, Allison Jane, in 2016. Oh, man, I'm sorry. My first AJ, something needs to happen with that crap. Absolutely it does, and I'm very sorry to hear about that. Fentanyl is just a blight on this entire country. So that's why, I mean, as much as I prefer Cash was focusing more on what's going on here domestically, what he's done there has been a great, great help. If China holds up its end of the bargain, it will go a long way to getting rid of this stuff. You're never going to get rid of it. Let's be real about it. It is never going to 1,000% go away. But if we can cut down on the amount that gets in here, it will save lives, without a doubt. All right. Like I said, RFK Jr. made a blockbuster FDA announcement. The era of ignoring women's health is over. Kennedy made a huge and possibly quite controversial announcement. This happened Monday. The FDA is going to be removing the black box warning from hormone replacement therapy, HRT, products that are used to treat low hormone levels in menopausal and postmenopausal women. Now, according to Walgreens, black box warnings are the strictest warning put on the labeling of prescription drugs or drug products by the FDA when there is reasonable evidence of an association of a serious hazard with the drug. Basically, it is a warning with a black box around it. That's where the name comes from. Now, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, first got a black box warning in the early 2000s after Women's Health Initiative study, according to the FDA, found a statistically non-significant increase in the risk of breast cancer diagnosis, and due to that finding, use of HRT among menopausal women plummeted. It crashed, leaving untold numbers of ladies suffering with things like hot flashes, night sweats, because of low levels of the hormone estrogen. I don't pretend to know this stuff, obviously, but it is a huge concern. Kennedy said that ends today. Said of untreated menopause symptoms at Monday's press conference he conducted with FDA Commissioner Marty Makary, the era of ignoring women's health is over. Kennedy said, we're challenging outdated thinking and recommitting to evidence-based medicine. Hallelujah. The change in the FDA's approach comes after flaws were found in this whole Women's Health Initiative study. It led to the curtailment of HRT prescriptions. But the study has been found to be flawed. The average age of women who took part in that study, 63 years old, way past when women normally go through menopause. Some more, the women in the study were taking a hormone formulation that is no longer commonly prescribed. Doing its own review of the data, the FDA found that those women who started hormone replacement therapy within 10 years of menopause, typically before the age of 60, reaped a huge amount of benefits beyond relief of symptoms like hot flashes and night sweats. Studies show, according to the FDA, that the additional benefits, including a risk of all-cause mortality and fractures, HRT has also been associated with a 50% reduction in heart attacks, the risk of heart attacks, 64% reduction in cognitive decline, and 35% lower risk of Alzheimer's. In short, the government now argues that the benefits of HRT far outweighs the risks. That is good news. Kennedy continued saying, Today, we're standing up for every woman who has symptoms of menopause and is looking to know her options and get potentially life-changing treatment. For more than 20 years, bad science and bureaucratic inertia have resulted in women and physicians having an incomplete view of HRT. We're returning to evidence-based medicine and giving women control over their health again. Hallelujah, and thank you, Mr. Kennedy. Wow, that is some good news for any woman out there, especially if you are at the age of headed into menopause, or maybe you're there. If you are at the age where you think you've had all about you can take of the sick, I want to say something and I'm holding back. We'll say things like this on the After Hours show over on our Locals channel. These sick mothers, and there's more to that word, British hospitals. You ready? You might want to sit down. British hospitals are now saying that milk from men is equal to mother's breast milk from women, biological women, for babies. Yes, you heard that right. These people have gone way whacked over the edge. A British trust that supervises a bunch of hospitals in the UK issued a letter claiming that the milk produced by biological men, they take these ingested hormones and they actually are able to produce some chemical form of a milk. Yeah, you're right, Danny. Mother truckers. Well, these mother truckers are saying that this chemical breast milk from men is as good for babies as a woman's milk. Dr. Rachel James, the medical director for the University of Sussex Hospitals, which was the first British trust to use terms like chest feeding instead of breastfeeding, or birthing parent instead of mom and dad. So this is where this Rachel James moron stands. She wrote a letter last August to an organization called Children of Transitioners, which it's right there in the name, folks. She claimed that the term human milk, which she called the ideal food for infants, is meant to be neutral and not gender-based. These people are sick. She also said medications are sometimes used to induce lactation, similar to the natural hormones which encourage lactation to develop when the baby is newly born, although occasionally some people are able to induce lactation without hormonal treatment. Yeah, that would be women. The evidence, she says, that's available demonstrates that milk is comparable to that produced following the birth of a baby. And this delusional freak from hell added, staff further clarify the term human milk is meant to be neutral and not gender-based. These are British hospitals, my friends. USHT study cited 2022 measured infant milk testosterone concentrations and discovered no observable infant side effects on babies using milk from biological men. This is just pissing me off. Lactating transgender women, in other words, men. And that study was completely rejected by experts. You're right, Danny, that is absolutely child abuse. Pumping yourself full of chemicals which come out in whatever that sorry excuse from your nipples that fake milk is, just chemical crap, which you are then allowing your baby to drink. You are a sick mother trucker, and you are abusing your child, and that child should be taken away from you immediately. And yes, you're also right. They'd be better off drinking milk from an animal. This is insane. Lottie Moore, head of quality and identity at Policy Exchange, discovered the letter, said, "This letter is unbalanced and naive in its assertion that the secretions produced by a man on hormones can nourish an infant the way a mother's breast milk can. A child's welfare must take precedent over identity politics. You think?" The congested belief system that have no basis whatsoever in the actual evidence. The NHS, of all organizations, should not be taking part in this absolute, utter nonsense. All I can say is thank God that's not happening here, although maybe it is, and if it isn't, give it time. Give it time. You know the way the left is and the way these liberal idiots with half a brain cell think. Oh, it won't be long if it isn't happening already. And I wouldn't doubt it for a New York minute. Fortunately, we do have some good news. I know. On a day like today, it seems a lot like that's getting more and more difficult to come by. Sorry, I need a little blackout coffee. A judge has tossed out a murder charge against a teenager who absolutely acted in self-defense. You may have heard this story, maybe not, but if you haven't, I'll bring you up to speed. There is a teenager in South Carolina who is no longer facing murder charges after a judge determined he was acting in legitimate self-defense when he shot and killed another teen who was attacking him. Joseph Jones was 17 years old when the defensive gun use took place February 2023. Now, he could possibly still face charges for carrying a handgun, but earlier this month, a judge disagreed with the prosecution's contention that it was Jones's gun possession that caused the death of 17-year-old Marcus Ross. Ross entered Smith's Grocery near downtown Mullins at 3:47 p.m. and bought several items. And then, after noticing Jones, Ross positioned himself near the exit and removed the items before placing them in a backpack, suggesting he was preparing for a potential confrontation while waiting for Jones to leave. That's according to the motion. Jones completed his purchase at 3:50 p.m., again walked past Ross without saying anything, the motion states. Ross began to follow Jones while carrying an open backpack which contained a can of mace, a large butcher knife, the documents show. Jones tried multiple times to get Ross to stop following before his decision said that Ross shoved Jones once they got out of view of the store's camera, leading to a fight between the two. And during the struggle, a gun ripped out of Jones' bag fell to the ground. Now, Jones saw Ross reach, by the way, just so we're clear, Jones is the good guy, Ross is the bad guy. Now, Jones saw Ross reach for the gun, leading Jones to try to get the gun out of fear for his safety, according to the defense. Jones' defense said the gun went off during a fight for control of the gun, and it hit Ross. Ross stalked, followed, and initiated the physical confrontation, which led to his demise. I'm a bit surprised the judge agreed with the defense, given there is a provision in South Carolina's Stand Your Ground law that says the presumption of reasonable fear of imminent peril of death or great bodily injury does not apply if the person using deadly force is engaged in an unlawful activity. Interesting. Even under South Carolina's permitless carry laws, minors are not allowed to carry a firearm. At the time of the shooting, state law required a concealed carry permit in order to, say, carry a gun in a backpack. Circuit Court Judge William Seals ruled that in order for the case to move forward, prosecutors had to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the unlawful act here, the carrying of a pistol by a person under 18, was at least the proximate cause of the homicide. If Jones hadn't been carrying a pistol in his backpack, Ross probably would not have been shot. But if Ross hadn't assaulted Jones, he wouldn't have been shot either. Even if Jones had a handgun in his possession, Ross would still be alive today if not for his decision to follow Jones out of the store and then attack him. And the judge said, you know what? You're right. And they dropped the murder charges. Good. Fantastic. We are very pleased about that. Oh, man. What else we got here? Anything good? Oh, yeah. You know John Cleese? I laugh even when I say the name. John Cleese, one of the more popular members of Monty Python's Flying Circus. By the way, when I got this story, it made me kind of go back and look at a whole bunch of old clips of Monty Python. The funniest stuff virtually ever. I mean, I'm such a fan. But apparently John Cleese has a really bad case of TDS, Trump-Epstein derangement syndrome. And he let that get a little bit out of hand. He had made a post about Trump and what he called, get this, remember Veterans Day a couple days ago? Trump and the tomb of the unknown loser. Yeah. Well, Mr. Cleese apparently thought twice about that X post, and he deleted it. John, what is wrong with you? Again, if you're a fan of, say, Fawlty Towers or Monty Python, John Cleese apparently has a raging case of Trump derangement syndrome and is way beyond being cured. We were going to talk the other day about a post on Cleese's tendency to repost lies about Israel. But in this case, he went after President Trump and a poorly thought out post, which he decided to delete. Now, as you know, Tuesday was Veterans Day, and as is the custom, President Trump laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. Very solemn occasion, happens every year. Well, Cleese maybe just wanted to take the day off. but instead he decided to run with a joke inspired by Atlantic fabulist Jeffrey Goldberg, saying what he saw in the photo of the event was Trump laying a wreath at the tomb of the unknown loser. Cleese deleted the post, but not before somebody captured a screenshot. Yep, we got the receipts, folks. It's right there. And the interwebs went crazy, blasting John Cleese for his post. And by the way, just to put a cherry on top of this little ice cream, he recently reposted posts about ICE arresting a 6-year-old girl and Erica Kirk applying fake tears before a Turning Point USA event, both of which completely fabricated lies, which is sad. John Cleese, with all due respect to you and your comedy years with Monty Python and Fawlty Towers, you got to get over it, man. You're stepping on places you shouldn't be. And you are wrong. Sad, because John Cleese is a brilliant mind when it comes to that kind of comedy and all that. And to waste your brilliant comedic talents on a bad case of Trump derangement is, it's just sad. Are you ready for the left's latest boogeyman? Guess who it is? Me. Well, not just me. But the latest boogeyman from the left is, drumroll, podcasting. Sorry, needed another sip of Blackout coffee. Links in our show notes. Go buy a bag today. The list of things the left over the years has called racist is longer than my arm, longer than both of my arms and both of my legs. And it continues to expand. Well, that includes, but is not limited to, Dr. Seuss books, hoop earrings on white women, quoting Beyonce lyrics, the path of the solar eclipse, math education, farmers markets, the white nuclear family, the concept of punctuality, and Jemima syrup, the master bedroom, bicycling. We can go on. But now we can add yet one more thing to the list of things that are racist: podcasting. From the Rap and the Quarterling, or the Quartering, there is no industry with fewer barriers to entry than podcasting. Shut the hell up. That's what they say. Podcasting diversity problem. 64% of hosts are male. Guilty. 77% are white. Also guilty. That according to a USC study. The Rap, this is the name of the organization that does this bullshit reporting, has decided that podcasting has a diversity problem. Here's what they write. The hosts of the top 100 podcasts of 2024 were overwhelmingly white and male. By the way, I wasn't on that list, just so you know, between you and me. A new comprehensive study from the USC reveals of the top podcasts, 64% were hosted by men, 77% of those hosts were white, underlining a severe lack of diversity in the medium that continues to rise in popularity, become a cornerstone of viewing time on YouTube, which we are on YouTube, but it's just a recorded show. We're live on Rumble and X Monday through Friday at 10 Eastern. Apparently, podcasting, as the Quartering points out, has too few barriers to entry. Anybody with a camera and a microphone, you don't even necessarily need a camera. You want to do podcasting, you just need a microphone and something to record it on. Computer, a microphone, and internet connection, boom, you're in the podcast business. The challenge, of course, is which podcasts get traction and which find an audience. For that, you've got to have a little bit of talent. You need an eye for stories, fairly decent production values. If we do the math, it turns out that of the top 100 podcasts, 36% are hosted by women, 23% non-white. So there is diversity there. Oh, yeah. What the rap wants is a podcast field with near zero white men. That's what would make them happy. So Joe Rogan, number one across the board and across the world. Sorry, Joe, you're out. You're a white man. You don't get to play the game. Now, why should anyone give a fat rat's ass about this? Well, who's being harmed by the absence of podcasts hosted by women or women of color? The rap and other media outlets have never run articles demanding diversity in other male-dominated industries like forestry, 97% male-dominated. Roofing, 98%. Mining, 95%. They don't care. They never mention it. Nor do they lament the fact that men have a higher suicide rate, make up more of the homeless population, and even more are likely to be victims of homicide. We all know why they don't mention those stats, don't we? Yeah, we do. Oh, man. You know what? I think we're done. I had one more, but it's kind of a BS story. I don't want to bother you with it. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so much for popping by. It's a Thursday, so wow, tomorrow's Friday already? That's fantastic. All right. We will see you from Friday edition tomorrow. Please, I always ask. I'm begging. Seriously, thank you from the bottom of my little wrinkled heart. Hit the follow button, both subscribe over on X, and if you're watching, also make sure you hit the follow button and the thumbs up on Rumble. Our locals channel, we haven't put up any new videos in a while, but there's 4, 5, 6 different ones over there you can check out called The After Hours. Yes, it's subscription-based, but it's damn cheap. It's like $5 a month, or you can do a one-time donation if you want. For any amount, $50, $20, $100, $1,000, I would love you forever. I will marry you for that. Anyway, check out our locals channel. Join up if you can. I appreciate that. And don't forget, if you scroll back on Rumble in the chat, you will find that link to the Give, Send, Go donation place for Patriot Dad. And if you can't find it or you don't see it in the chat, just a reminder that it is givesendgo.com/Patriot Dad EV Fire Fund. Patriot Dad EV Fire Fund to make your donation. He's an amazing man. His family and all have lost everything in that house fire. They got away with only the clothes on their back, and they really do need your help. So I know my audience. I know you guys are great and caring people. You will do what you can to help out. Thank you, folks. We'll see you again tomorrow for the Friday edition. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday.